and business law attorney here, back with more great trademark information. Today, I want to talk to you about fanciful trademark. Now, what's a fanciful trademark? A fanciful trademark is basically a made-up word that doesn't really exist in the English language and has no function except in relation to the goods that it represents. What's an example? One of my favorites is Clorox. You know, the bleach, Clorox. It is a made-up word, completely made up. Clorox means nothing except in relation to bleach. And it's also really great. I've talked about suggestive marks before, but I really like Clorox because it's also very suggestive. So it suggests chlorine, right? So bleach is made from chlorine. It's part of what makes things white and makes little white spots on colored clothes if you're not careful. So the chlorine is implied by the use of the cl in Clorox, even though Clorox is a completely made up word. Interesting enough, today I also discovered that the Clorox company owns Burt's Bees. I find that mildly disturbing. Wrap your head around that one. What's another example of a suggestive and also fanciful mark? Well, Google, our very own, our favorite search engine, at least my favorite search engine, Google. And, Google has to be careful not to let that become generic. I've talked about generic marks and how marks become generic before, but, we don't say use the Google search engine and search for that. We say Google it. So Google's going to have to be careful not to let that mark become generic. But Google, to me anyway, it has this connotation of something really big, right? And a Google spelled differently, represents a number that's a 1 with 10 zeros behind it. So it basically 10. It's really big, right? So it's a really big number, and Google is a really big search engine. So I like the way Google has sort of co-opted the almost Google term in relation to their really big search engine. What's another one? Another one that you're probably familiar with is Blistex. Now, Blistex makes cold sore medicine. Cold sores are also called fever blisters. I'm lucky enough to have never gotten one of those, but a lot of people suffer with them, and so they use Blistex. So Blistex, the blist part, it has this connotation about blisters, right? Because the cold sores, I guess they look like blisters. And then the X is like, get rid of it, X, like you want to take it out. You want it to be an X thing. So I like that as well. So Blistex is, again, a fanciful term. It's made up. It doesn't exist in real English language or in any language for that matter. And so it's this neologism that the brand experts at the Blistex company, or whoever owns Blistex, made up in order to have this connotation that if you use this product, it will get rid of your fever blisters or cold sores, whatever you want to call them. Anyway, so that is a little bit about fanciful marks. Fanciful marks make really, really good, strong trademarks because, especially if they're suggestive, because they are incapable of actually describing anything, right? And one of the common problems with marks that I see is that they are refused registration for being merely descriptive. So they can't be merely descriptive because they don't actually use real words to describe anything. They use made up words to suggest certain things about the brand or certain qualities about the product. And the combination of the fanciful word with the suggestive sound actually makes a really strong trademark. So thumbs up to those companies for coming up with really, really strong trademarks. I'm Angela Langlotz. I'm a business and trademark law attorney, and you can find me online at TrademarkDoctor.net, where I have all kinds of information about trademarks and patents and copyrights There's an FAQ for each of those subjects and also a video library that I think is pretty nifty. And you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/trademarkdoctor. If you like my Facebook page, you'll be notified every time I go live. And if you would like me to answer your trademark question, leave a comment on this video with the question and I will answer it in a future Facebook Live and tag you so that you know when I'm answering your question. I'll be back tomorrow, as I am every day, with more information about intellectual property, so find me right here.